up, fantasizers? This is the Pinkbike Fantasy Downhill presented by Trek recap show for stop number 4 in Val di Sole, Italy. Sickest track that exists on the World Cup circuit. It's been the World Champs track twice. Now it's a mainstay on the World Cup circuit. And it always provides for some really good downhill racing action. Speaking of action, let's just get right into it. Luca Shaw, that was impressive. He was 27th at the split and then somehow pops into 4th place by the time the run is over. Makes you wonder why he was down so far in the middle of the run, and then it makes you wonder how he clawed so far back. So congrats to Luca Shaw for getting on the podium. They podiumed to 5, he got a 4th place, so he's officially on the podium. Let's talk about Laurie Greenland, 2nd place. Huge result for him, repeating on his 2016 2nd place at the World Champs on the very same track, Val di Sole. So make sure you keep him on your team. Put him on if he's not already on there, because Laurie Greenland has been looking on point all season. Now he's got a big podium result to back it up. But what about this guy, Amaury Pierron? Ridiculous. He does the hat trick, winning 3 World Cups in a row. That hasn't been done very many times. And it's really fitting for him to do it in Italy, because the term hat trick was actually invented in Italy, wearing 3 hats at the same time. So now anytime you do 3 of the same things back to back to back, it's called a hat trick. Amaury Pierron did it, and now he's leading the World Cup overall. And if you keep putting him on your team, you're gonna be leading the fantasy overall, because his price hasn't been changing. If you're not putting him on your team, you need to be changing your ways and figure that out, because this dude's on fire. Insane fire. How about the women? Rachel Atherton moving into 1st place overall, not winning the race, but she got 2nd place, got some great points, moved into the lead overall. That's impressive. Miriam Nicole was out of the race. She had a bad crash. She didn't break a bone or anything, but she had some bad bruising, so still waiting to find out if she's going to be racing Andorra next weekend. But Tawny Seagraves, she stays in the tape this time, nails it, doesn't get another one-hander because it's not Fort William with the big old finish line style jump airing down into that hill, but she gets another win for the season, which is an amazing feat, winning 2 races in any season. And after getting DQ'd at the last race in Leo Gang, it's gotta feel good to get back on the podium. So good job for Tawny Seagrave. Who can we congratulate in our fantasy field for doing a good job? We're getting to that. 22 teams had the best team possible, which is impressive for you guys, because 22 of you knew what to do. But it's also like, of course, the prices aren't changing. Might as well just pack it with these people who've been doing well, like Amaury Pierron. So the person who won, the big winner, was Bruccio. Now Bruccio had Danny Hart, Amaury Pierron, Luca Shaw, Laurie Greenland, Monica Rasnick, and Veronica Widman. Tons of people right there in that list who were on the podium. So way to go to Bruccio. But another huge way to go to one of our Pinkbike staffers who finally made a blip on the radar. It was Alan Crisp, who was one of those 22 fantasy players who had the perfect team. 1,070 points went to all 22 of those people. Finally, one of our very own Pinkbike staff members, Alan Crisp, was one of them. Now, he didn't move up into striking distance for that Trek Session 9-9, but it's just good to know that somebody at Pinkbike is paying attention, knows what they're doing. Good job, Pinkbike. 1,070 points, that's the highest it's been all season in terms of how many points you can win if you have the best team, so things are heating up. But when 22 people have the same team, how in the world do you decide who wins the cool prizes? In this case, there was no insider trading, so another kudos to Alan Crisp for not just choosing himself. They drew at random, and Bruccio was, I don't know, maybe they did their own thing, their own hat trick. They filled up hats with 22 names, they pulled one out, and if it said Alan Crisp, they threw that one away because they knew I would call them out for that, right? For Bruccio, he won a TLR Flash Charger floor pump and a Rapid pack, valued at 180 bucks, so that never sucks. It pumps. That was stupid. Okay, so the rider who was most owned out there, for good reason, was Aaron Gwin. But you gotta pay attention to what's going on, because Aaron Gwin's been nursing that thumb from that crash. Have you ever hurt your thumb before? You start to forget why we've made it so far as the human race, because we have these opposable thumbs. They allow you to do lots of things, including ride your downhill bike down one of the most difficult tracks on the planet at a high rate of speed. When your thumb is compromised, your speed's gonna be compromised. So Aaron Gwin got out there, he did his run, trying to salvage some points, but it's gotta be impossibly difficult to hold on to the handlebars. So he didn't get too many points for you. He's thinking about points for himself for that overall, because Amory Pierron is now, of course, running away with it with 3 back-to-back rims, back-to-back wins. Remember that hat trick thing? So Aaron Gwin cost you $625,000. He earned you 30 points. So at least he didn't earn you 0 points. 22% of the teams believe in Aaron Gwin and his power to persevere and push through thumb pain. Unfortunately, only 30 points for you believers, but gotta respect the believers out there rooting for their man Aaron Gwin. But with Amory Pierron winning 3 races in a row, he's the man to put on your team, or else you should go to the doctor and have your head examined. There may be some sort of hemorrhage. It couldn't hurt. Making bad decisions, it's not your thumb making the bad decisions, it's your brain. So get your brain checked out if you don't have Amory Pierron on your team. The best bang for your buck was, once again, Reese Wilson. This is the second time he's been the most bang for your buck, so start seeing the trends, or get your head examined. He cost you $100,000. He brought in 115 points. For the women, the best bang for your buck was Veronica Widman. She was on the podium. She also cost $100,000, and she brought you in 130 points. So a little bit more bang for your buck there. Worst rider to have was Miriam Nicole. Of course, she had issues. She had a crash, no broken bones, some bruising. Hopefully, she'll be back for Andorra, but she cost you 625,000 points. And guess how many points she got you? She got you no points. No points. Sorry. Once again, get over it. At this point, the season's been going on long enough. You should make sure you don't put people on your team who aren't riding the race. So now let's take a look at the leaderboard for Pinkbike Fantasy Downhill presented by Trek. And Arhicha's still hanging out in the lead. Hanging out in the lead by 9 points. And Arhichas is just hanging on by a thread. Looking at that Trek Session 9.9 factory paint job, Trek Factory Racing. You're gonna look like an Allerton out there. Unless you don't win, and Arhichas. No pressure to make good decisions going into Andorra. It's just a brand new downhill bike that nobody else in the world except for the people on the team have. So no pressure. Make good decisions. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, poops.